Alright guys, here we're going to talk about and review Wyvern. Have you seen this one before?
No!
I have.
Yeah.
I've seen this one a few times. I think I've seen it once on TV and once, when it came out on DVD.
Yeah.
So let's do a quick talk about the movie before we get into spoiler territory. Would you recommend, would you not? What do you think about the movie?
I would not recommend it.
I would recommend it if you like sci-fi original style movies, creature features type stuff.
Okay. I don't watch a lot of the modern creature feature things or whatever, right? So like my template going back to stuff is like Tremors or something like that. So like when I see like a modern
Tremors,
normal
a
thing,
much better movie.
A movie, yeah.
That's
So
a
like
real-ass movie.
that's a movie that is using this format, whereas that format has evolved into like its own like thing. So I defer to you in like a lot of sense of like compared to other ones, this one might be great of that like style and genre.
It doesn't have like the best CG. It doesn't have the best plot, but it was like it's fun enough as far as these things go. Like I enjoyed some bits and bobbles here and there. I thought it was just like a good enough time to throw on as like okay, I'm watching this now. What's happening? Like nothing egregiously offends me about this movie. Like I'm not one that gets offended by the bad CG. Like
no.
It doesn't have tremendously great CG. At times things are ridiculous. I do have my rip you apart bits, which I do for all movies. Horror movies, especially ones that have large creatures. But I would say worth a watch.
Okay. I disagree respectfully. I don't feel like it does a great job at what I think it's trying to do, and I didn't have a lot of like fun with it. I actually had I think the opposite reaction.
Okay.
Movies like this make me like existentially where I'm like, are all movies a waste of time? Like, why does anyone ever make a movie? Why does anyone ever watch a movie? Like, what's going on? Like, I get very weird with certain movies where I'm just like, and like, I love bad CG. Bad CG is fine. It's not that the CG wasn't like up to snuff or something like that.
I mention it though because I know for a lot of people that can be a super turnoff. For like, I love watching in trailers for like B movies. Someone timestamps something and goes, "Did I just watch bad CGI?" And I'm like, of course you did. What do you mean? Are you watching the same trailer I watched?
So like that's like a boomer thing I think too for me, where I'm like I have like had a soft spot for guy in a rubber suit creature feature type thing.
Those are my favorite.
Well, but like
or just in general practical effects like you built half of a monster. Oh, you have the arms for these shots.
But a bad enough practical effect, I'm sure someone's making the argument as we speak that like, hey, to like younger kids who grew up with CG, this is their nostalgic like, it's not, the lighting doesn't even make sense. Like it's not even there. It's amazing. Like they're not even looking at it. Oh, it's great. Like that's what they're into. So like I can't be like, oh well, the CG. Oh man, whatever, right? Like watching it though, you have that sense where people for years were like, CG is getting cheaper. Once you animate something, it's there forever. You just have to change the rigging or whatever, right? So like people have been saying for a long time, this is going to get more and more accessible, and movies with lower and lower budgets can start putting things into it.
Yeah, these like few $1 million movies now all have CG.
You can structure your whole movie like around it. Even it's not like you have one shot of like and like moves the same way again and again. Like you can buy a Wyvern and use it in your movie.
The problems I still have with the CG things is mostly writing based. Where like things where they'll be like, oh, and it does this, and I'm like, but if it can't react with the environment, you shouldn't have it do things.
I totally agree. And
like those take you out of the moment.
Let's say split decision and go off into
more
details because I want to get into the deal. I don't want to dance around it and then revisit it and say that's the problem.
Let's get into the nitty gritty here.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
I think you were just hitting on something really important where it's like, your movie's about a Wyvern. Why are you filming scenes that should be a Sasquatch or a Gremlin or Chupacabra or something else? People are getting snatched out of their cars. People are getting like murdered in a barn, and I'm like, this is a Wyvern. This is Game of Thrones. This is like a flying
that's part of
monster.
one of my biggest issues was the one where it's like in the barn. So you're in the barn, and there's at least 2 dead bodies. I think it's just 2 dead bodies. I think it's a guy and a girl that are dead.
Yeah, and you see like the head through the hay and stuff.
And they're like barely mutilated. Like at least one of them is just like laying there bloody. And I'm like that's my biggest pet peeve with large creature issues.
Sure.
And in the beginning, this movie gets credit for me. So like I've seen this a few times, but I didn't remember everything. So I think I wrote oh, credit, they found an arm.
You see that?
And I was like, okay, because a normal bad movie would be like, oh, the monster's a megalodon, and we found a body on the shore with 3 claw marks.
Yeah.
And you're like,
how?
What could have happened? But I was like, no, think about like, a large like dragon type character just eats you. Your arm just gets severed,
Pieces
falls,
just fall off.
It just flies away.
I know, 100%.
I'm like, cool. Score.
He even says, well, if he's, if he was over there driving that way, how does his arm get over here?
Yeah.
If his car is there, what's his arm doing here?
Right? And you're like, wait, oh no, if his car's in the woods there, how does his arm get here? And that's when you're starting to do the whole,
you're like, it could be flying while it's chewing
thing.
and just drops. It can move very fast.
Totally agree.
So I was like, movie gets credit. I think is my exact
points,
like
plus
note.
10 points.
Because that's great. And like another big problem is like any movie that has a water-based large creature, it always has the creature pop up and get somebody when they're in like ankle-deep water.
Yes.
And I'm like, how the fuck did that happen?
It happens in the beginning though here. When the
yes.
guy's blood drops, so like, okay.
It's not too bad.
Let me just.
That one didn't get me the same way that some of these other ones do.
Because some of them, like, there's no even implication that it gets any deeper.
Yeah.
So it's just coming out of like a puddle.
Yeah.
No. So like to like take a step back, we had like a few movies to watch for the week, and so I'm hanging out. I turn this one on. I see the CGI in like the ice, and I turned it off. I was like, I can't do this right now. I can't. I just can't. I can't go through this. It's probably just about a wyvern, like this horrible CG like movie where this wyvern's killing everybody. Like, it's killing me. And this whole thing, I'm like, I can't do it. And then when I came back to it, I write down, like, my first note is like, you like blew the money shot like instantly. We see the whole ass wyvern. Like in the beginning of the movie, and part of it for me would have been like not see, quite like a shadow goes by, or you see like what it's done to like a transformer power converter unit, just so you start to build up this image of like what must it look like, right? But they in like this prologue, in this intro, this guy cuts his hand cleaning fish. And then goes to like rinse it off, I guess, in like the lake. And the wyverns.
Does anyone do that?
I'm like,
who washes off? And
so much of it. I'm like, what are we doing
Maybe Alaska's
here?
so pristine that like the water actually might be clean enough. But I'm like, I feel like all water you like shouldn't ever put like a cut into because it's just full of bacteria and horrible shit.
I guess we should say too, even though we're in spoiler territory, it's in Alaska. We're like about to have the break from like the constant
That's part of
day.
the charm for me.
Yeah.
Like one of my big things is like I hate when people write something like when like your problem is you wrote this and that's the issue.
Sure.
And here it's like oh well, we only want to film during the day because it'll be easier. We can't afford lights, this and that. Blah, blah. All right, we're gonna say it's Alaska, and it's only daytime.
Okay.
We have no issues with continuity. We have no like it's always the same bright. I'm like, all right, you solved that is a good fix. I like that.
I know that's why they did that, but I also wanted that to come into play in some way, and it didn't really seem to, in the story or something. So whatever about that. But
I thought, and maybe I missed it this go around, but in my head, one of my memories of this movie was I was like, oh, and they mentioned large mosquitoes. I'm like, that's an Alaska thing that I know about, and I've never seen a movie mention that before.
Oh.
Yeah, this solstice was a real bitch, wasn't it?
Weird.
But I didn't hear it this time around.
I don't remember.
And I was like, huh, did that just not happen in this movie? Did I tie that memory to this for no reason? That's strange.
It's the only Alaska wyvern movie. But so like the polar ice caps are melting and the banished.
Yeah. Great people are in this movie.
Odin banished a wyvern to the ice and now it's free type of thing, yes.
Odin didn't take kindly to that. Banished the wyvern to the frozen tundra, where it would spend eternity.
So
Yes.
like,
if only Odin had a truck, it all would have been fine.
I forget everyone's name, but the guy that tells you that story, he's super famous for the last like 40 years.
So he's not Wilford Brimley.
Yes.
That's the good book, huh?
You got a better explanation? You said it was a cockatoad.
I was in shock.
He's been on TV shows, movies, like all this shit. Then there's the guy. That's General Hammond, right, from Stargate?
Yeah. I need to make an emergency broadcast.
Why?
It's Roswell, Hampton, all over again, girl. And they look like reptilians.
He plays another general.
This is his last movie.
Is it?
He died
Did he
shortly
die
after this, yes.
But I always liked him.
So he's playing, I just forgot, I knew his name. In Tremors, the mustache guy with the guns. He's playing that guy.
The Burt Gummer.
Burt!
I am completely out of ammo.
Burt! Yeah,
Yes.
he's playing Bert in this one. So he's like, we gotta warn everybody. We gotta get down and make him. We have to hook up a thing and do a thing. We gotta do a thing. Yeah, it's great.
Doc ain't missing, you nit. He was breakfast, and we're gonna all be lunch.
Yeah.
There's a part though, like where a moose's head is dropped. You know, from like.
And he's like, oh, those kids.
It goes in. I'm like, and like you don't know what it is because it happens really quick, and like they don't go to it for another second. And I'm like, they didn't react at all. What the hell is that? Something just fell out of the sky. You should be freaking. Was it on your roof?
Damn.
What do you think just happened?
Yeah, what do you think just happened? Was the moose like, And like they use the radio lady, the impossibly attractive and bad at radio lady character who's always in these things, who's in the fog too, I think, whatever.
Ahoy, mateys. This is KAB Antonio Bay.
In every movie.
For some reason, we always have to have this slamming chick being like the DJ who can't do a cold reading of any. It's so amazing.
Games of chance and tests of skill to count down the hours before that glorious time we call the magic hour. So today, remember, keep sane and don't lose your cool.
How they always pick the exact right character, but they weave into like her broadcast, like. And by the way, General Hammond says, stop messing with him. You know that was funny, but the moose head is too far.
This just in, Colonel Travis sends his regards to the goons who dropped
Off a present in his hot tub. Not funny, not cool at all.
Or some dumb thing where you're like, oh my god, like okay.
Based on
it's
what
all
they show too,
woven.
I think they just got a mounted moose head and just put it in the pool.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Because I'm like, all right, it's like, you know, the base would be under the water, would be touching the bottom. I think that could work, and they're large. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah,
but the shot worked fine for me. Like another thing, like a pet peeve, a thing that I like because it's bad in almost all these movies is like there's always a plan that is so dumb.
Yes.
So like in this one, they're like, we'll electrify the nest.
We run a current to electrify the nest. When that thing comes back, it dies.
I know, we'll use this little shitty generator to somehow kill the largest creature in the world.
Yeah,
that's gonna work.
Who may have like, you know.
I would assume it was insulated because like I don't think you can electrocute alligators. Like this is way bigger.
Let's say you can. This is like an impossible creature that shouldn't exist, and the one character who has any authority has just said, probably has the blessing of Loki or something like that.
It was rumored that it was birthed by Hel herself. That's Hel with one L, the goddess of the Norse underground.
And you're like, all right, let's just zap it with the and they know this, so they put in a thing. That's a Supreme 3500. That's the best generator in the world.
That's a Power Supreme 5000. She'll start.
Or something like that. And you're like, all right, sweet, awesome.
Yeah, it's just like collecting shards of metal.
Yeah,
I'm like that's what you do.
I didn't even hate that because like it's
I
making a
didn't
nest.
We're getting to what I really hate.
The way like a magpie or something would like take certain items. It's taking certain items to put it in its nest, and I'm like, I don't hate that. Before we move on though, people in the movie, the lady cop, the Inuit-looking lady cop or whatever, I hate her so much.
So what did the colonel tell you?
That he saw flying space reptilians.
It's the same thing he told me.
I thought she was somebody's friend. She's famous. She was on Northern Exposure. Everybody loves her.
Why don't we go on to the next scene? It's a pretty good one.
All right.
She's like playing on the red carpet.
She was really bad in this though.
She's so bad.
She's so bad. But honestly, she's a bad that I was kind of like, yep.
Watch your step.
I was hoping you would.
You're so
when
nostalgic.
She's just like sucking
You're blinded
on the
by your
ribs and
nostalgia.
just how unflattering almost all of her shots are.
It's all clear here, sir.
Shut it down!
Say again?
They had to
you have to lean into things a certain way to like let yourself do these like parts.
They had to cut around her. They had to. At one point, one of the other actresses grabs her and like shoves her out of a scene because it's like she's not doing the right thing or something like that. I was so, and like things can be bad and you can like them. It doesn't make you a bad person, but I'm not talking about a proverbial. I'm talking about you exactly.
Of course.
Because I was like, oh no. And so like, you know, when I Googled it, I thought we filmed in Alaska. We used this chick's like ranch, and this is just this chick. Yeah. She's like famous. Yeah. And I never watched Northern Exposure, but her and not Wilford Brimley were both on Northern Exposure. So people are like, this is like a stealth spin-off of Northern Exposure. Takes place in the same town. The
That's
Wyvern,
also a big
crazy
thing
stuff.
with like, you know, creature feature type things, is they usually will pull like you know, semi-celebrity people, and if they can get multiple ones from the same one, like I think it's Lava Lantula.
Come on, Darren. I'm gonna see you tomorrow morning.
Not unless I'm down at the unemployment office, she won't.
Has like 3 of the original characters from Police Academy.
All right.
You're like, it's like Steve Guttenberg, the girl that yells.
Hey! NASA made that suit.
Okay.
And
I'm with it.
I think
like
the voice is noise guy. Yeah.
Lava Lantula. A lava tarantula?
Yes. Just to jump to my least favorite part.
Yeah, we can hit like a punch list.
My least favorite part of the movie is his final plan.
Why?
The eggs are bait.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell kind of insurance does he have?
It's my claim.
What?
It's my replacement rig.
That they deliver him a new one.
Listen,
I don't think any insurance like that exists
in Alaska. Things are different, and I'm making this up. I have no idea why that would be.
Like, I'm like, okay, they just deliver you a brand new rig. That sounds weird.
Which the Wyvern hasn't destroyed. The giant
got
Wyvern,
the driver out.
It's like snatching out. It's like eating the clams. It's like just taking out the little piece or whatever.
That's the B-movie bullshit that I hate, is that like why did you do this? Why not say the person was on a rowboat that you found at a garage sale for $30 so you could just destroy a rowboat?
Yep.
Why is he in like, you know, an $180,000 rig that you can't do anything to? That's annoying.
How about he got out, you know, he must have gotten out to take a leak or something like that. You could do anything for free to make me not angry at those scenes. Yeah.
But his plan is not a plan. It's not a plan at all.
Do you know how good his plan is, though?
You guys get back in the truck and hightail it over to Edna.
That fake AC/DC starts playing, and he puts his cap on.
Where did the cap come from?
Must have had it in his back pocket the whole time.
I think it was the other guys.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you think that it was in the rig and it was part of the delivery? Your trusty cap?
Technically, but I do just think the other guy had the hat, and he's like, a hat. Ha-ha.
Perfect.
Poor guy drove into all this.
Great. So what now?
Because you don't see that ever before.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also, I'm fairly sure that is the exact same rig that's in the pictures in his thing. Like, I think that, like...
Probably.
They replaced the exact one.
It's the exact
down to the serial number.
Make and model. Yeah.
But no, the worst thing about this is he's like, get that GPS out of the doctor's car or whatever. I've got a plan.
I need the GPS from Doc's car, and I need that egg strapped into the truck here.
The plan is to drive off of a cliff, killing the monster.
Just end it there. The plan is to drive off of a cliff.
Yes.
And hope that by the time you fall, you go off the cliff.
He anticipated being caught
the Wyvern
by the Wyvern.
Yep.
He also anticipated it being just like on his hood so that he could just like sandwich it with the earth.
Destination.
He honks the horn like, hey, come, I'm right here. He's putting mud on himself. Kill me, I'm right here, do it now. He's like doing the whole thing. It's amazing.
I'm here, kill me! Come on, kill me, I'm here!
But like that's the biggest like, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any, like, what?
I'm glad you're not trying to defend this. Like
There's no defense.
That's how it's supposed to be.
No,
it's a trope in these movies where you kill it the most stupid way possible.
The trope is killing it in a dumb way.
Yes.
But usually it's like, oh, we've been fighting you for 6 hours. dynamite, and it dies.
I was just gonna say, you throw sticks of dynamite with no ignition source, add it, and then someone shoots a shotgun, and then it explodes, leaving no trace.
Yeah.
That's the ending that you have to do here.
Yes.
Why did we do this truck thing?
I'm like, where
was the truck loaded with explosives? Why would it explode like that?
Oh, that's movie trucks always explode.
Movie trucks.
They learned that from watching G.I. Joe.
Nuclear bombs.
My thing is like, why does he not? He's lived here for a while. He had to know there was a cliff.
Wait for me. GPS said.
We'll get you where you wanted.
So why did he even need the GPS?
Because earlier...
Because you needed someone to say 1 mile away.
Yeah.
Tim, you needed that countdown.
2 miles until destination.
We established the horrible voice doing the thing or whatever.
Oh, God, that was... And then when the doctor's alive,
so many minutes.
I removed the credit I once gave the movie.
Neat.
Because I was like, all right, how did it do that? It just bit his arm and then let it go, or was the mouth so big it bit the whole body and only couldn't close off the arm, and then carried him to the nest and dropped him?
I'm gonna feed you to my young.
I would have liked to have seen that, like what I just said, biting him and carrying him and dropping him like a baby bird, but barring seeing that, I'm just left to go, fuck this idiot. Especially after, in between that scene, that chicken scene, where I'm like, it ate the chickens in some situations, where I'm like, wouldn't it crush the whole cage to get the chicken?
It tears the doors off of the diner, of the cafe or whatever.
And then its head doesn't touch the outside edges of the diner, just
And there are scenes, and maybe this dovetails
into... the handle?
Yeah, he bites the handles and pulls the door off, and then goes, nah, okay. Picture, there being things you want to eat in a dollhouse. You would just smash it open.
Yeah.
And not the hard parts, the Alaska fur, no, just the hard parts around the windows, just go.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily know what the hard part is.
He's never trying to do anything. It never goes for anything.
I'm not saying he is, but I was just watching a movie. It was Chupacabra versus the Alamo.
Eric Estrada.
Chupa this.
Chupacabra versus the Alamo, a sci-fi original movie.
Megagator versus Chupacabra.
And there's a bit where the Chupacabra just potentially the first time it's ever seen houses ever, goes, bites a knob, turns the door, and opens the door, and I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, that's what's happening here.
But that's my thing with creatures
in
general that have never experienced the outside. I wonder, you wouldn't, that wall, is a wall, and a large creature could burst right through it. But it wouldn't know, it having only experienced hard things being caves or rocks, wouldn't it assume all things are hard?
I don't know. Can I give it that much credit?
I think about these things a lot.
Should it be clawing at something? It pulled the door off. It knows that there's an inside and an outside, and some parts are soft. Why is it not trying other? I don't understand.
I don't know.
And again, that's a super high standard to hold something to. But as you always say, you picked a wyvern and you knew that going into it. So why are you doing this? It's coming at her and she shoots it, and then she's not in the car later and it's gone. She scared it off or something like that.
Why not have it I don't know, if you're gonna not do something, if you're gonna do something dumb, why not make the tail go through and just stab somebody or something?
Yeah.
We can't let it go through the door or something, and it doesn't want to try or whatever. I enjoyed some of the scenes with the tail stabbing people.
That tail stab was cool.
I was like, okay, that's cool.
At the nest scene when it
when it kills the trapper hillbilly guy, but it also slashes that other guy, and I was like, oh no, he got chest slashed. That's a Hercules death.
That's the thing, yeah.
But he lived for a little while and then sacrificed himself for the dumbest reason ever.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, come over here. Oh no, I'm dead.
I'm gonna make it.
Those are the kind of ones that I know you hate a lot. They kind of wash over me. I'm sort of neutral on them. But yeah, it was so weird. Oh no. They're like, oh, he set a trap. I'm going. And you're like, wait, what?
There were a couple of things like that.
You have time to make a plan or something. But now, no, because that's why I'm angry too.
Because you save the doctor.
Well, because you find out that the wyvern is intelligent and it sets a trap.
It's using David as bait.
It like does these things. So like it should be intelligent enough, right? It destroys the antenna, which again is like Tremors. Oh, he's so
That wasn't
smart.
on purpose. That was just 'cause it was shiny.
He's so smart because he's so dumb or whatever, right?
But basically, they bite anything that's warm. You mean they've been acting so smart because they're so stupid?
But you have to do things to like establish the rules of what the creature's doing or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Do a thing.
In general, like, and this is like, you know, the caveat for my thumbs up, I think, on all things is I just like these kinds of movies.
I know, that's fine.
And I'm the first to say, like, they're not traditionally good. Like they're not, like, some of them are. This one's not. Like there are some creature features that are like, I'm like, wow, this, like, there's a movie Rogue that like is about, like, you know, a large crocodile, and I'm like, on all levels, I'm like, this is amazing. I don't even know how you built these sets. This is so fantastic. And this is not that. This is a low budget movie. They just crack them out to get money. They put more money into the covers than they do for like the actual thing. But there's something charming and campy about them. I remember, like, you know, as a kid, you'd like either be like watching Sci-Fi Channel or the like, and be like, oh, what's on now? And it'd be like 6 or 7 of these stupid things in a row. Or you'd see what new thing came out on Tuesdays. You went to the video store, and like so there's a history of that. I am the guy on the team here that likes and has the expertise in these things.
Well, and because I am a nice person, I'm not going to be like, sucks, and just like shit on you and try to whatever. I'm going to say, that's cool. You're allowed to like something. I'm not going to like
I like
start
big monsters. There's a point, like, this is the biggest monster that I think is on my I still like kind of size, because like,
and it's literally big, like
yes,
the size of it. Okay.
Because at a certain point you lose a lot of the fun stuff that could happen.
Yes.
And like, this is as big as I think I could go, and it still be fun.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point you're like, well, you can't even damage that. What do you mean? You're just hiding. You're not fighting anymore.
Yeah, and like certain stuff, the monster is so big either because it's mutated or because it's just a big thing, where like it becomes more of a disaster movie. It's not really like a monster movie anymore. It's not able to do right. Yeah. But I think here, like, there was so much potential for like learning what it wants and its habits. When they find the eggs, that's something cool. I'm like, okay, and then we don't like the egg is in the truck, and that's how he lures it to like the thing. But like,
it's like seatbelted in.
Yeah, that's there are charming moments here and there. But yeah, no, you could have done. I don't know. It's weird for me to be like, why didn't they do something good? But like, there's things you could have done that like with like many of the same elements or whatever, right? Like, I don't know what happens in Alaska, but couldn't there have been like a thing where like they were gonna blast away like a mountain to make a pipeline? They were protesting
logging,
it.
Like
something
like the oil pipeline, logging, like things like that you naturally would have, like dynamite fishing. I don't know,
something
things that I picture happening up there.
Yeah,
like
and
one of those large saws that rips a fucking huge log, and you're like I don't know, fucking throw them into that shit.
Right, and just lure him into some situation where something kills him, but like he's really just kind of buried again. So then Wyvern 2, he could be getting out of that. Right? You could do
Wyvern
like
2, Electric Boogaloo.
Like Electric Boogaloo. Like, it makes more sense to me. Like that was my main where I'm like, I don't recommend this because like the stuff that happens doesn't match with the. It'd be like having a movie with werewolves, but like you don't do any of the werewolf stuff. There's no silver. There's no full moon. There's no nothing.
That actually would be kind of awesome. If you went against the grain and like threw out all that shit, it's actually parsley. That's what gets them.
Okay, but there's like without a substitution. I mean.
Oh, okay.
You just don't
don't include it.
Like, you picked a wyvern, but again, like, it's snatching people out of cars. It's sneaking around. It like sneaks and comes back. When it kills the doctor runs back to his car and can't get in and drops his keys, and it's like
that doctor. I was like, come on, you idiot! But you don't unlock it from a distance.
But it's like he's being attacked by a small, ground-based, stealthy, clever monster.
It might even be a thing because of how they churn these things out. There might be blanket scripts, and they're like, and this monster's gonna be a blah blah. Okay, do a little changes that are needed.
That's what it feels like, and that's what like gets to my. That's what gets under my thing. I could see like a fun or serious version of a thing where it feels like appropriate, where you start learning. Wait, but like Tremors, where they go like, why to go for the engine then? Oh, it's it's the heat. Like, you start to learn the rules of the monster. And I'm not going to compare every one of these to Tremors. This is just for like the like thing where I'm like, this is why I'm saying this one's not good, because as a movie it's like fine. Like they had lenses and cameras and people and coverage, and
having
they
actors
do all
that
the
like
stuff.
and the main character guy, the truck driver, like, he's so familiar.
Old tattoo.
Will be exposed.
Yeah.
What is he from?
He is the bad guy from Ultraviolet.
That doesn't mean I'm stupid, and it certainly doesn't mean that you make a single move without me knowing about it.
You would have killed me a long time ago.
Is where I knew him from a lot.
Okay.
He has some other TV credits,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's a character actor. He's one of those like 170 credits guys or some crap like that.
But like just having, because like there's so many B movies where you're like, I don't know anybody, I don't care about anybody,
Right.
blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
you know going into it when you see faces you recognize, you're like okay, this is gonna be a notch slightly above. It's gonna have a little more money. Things might make it a little better. Might have better sets. Might this and that.
Yeah.
And I think that is true in this to some point.
Well, and he's like maybe not age appropriate, but he's not the 17-year-old right guy.
Yeah.
Like
This is Chief Dawson, Beaver Mills, declaring an emergency.
it's got a nice, you know, again like Tremors, grizzled, like weird, real people.
Yeah.
Someone says something like
no gratuitous hot people in
there's a bunch
bikinis. Like yeah.
Even like the waitress who's horny for him is still relatively like she fits in.
A
with
normal
the
looking
thing.
person.
There he is.
No one's this weird, right? Except the DJ girl. Does she die? Does she make it? I think she makes it.
I think she makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she makes it.
The ending is so weird too. After that weird ending or whatever, they choose to end on the crazy woman.
Yeah, getting.
Edna.
Oh, she's dead, honey.
She died years ago.
You got Maggie with you?
Jake, Maggie passed away a year ago.
Good for you, Edna.
Good for you, Edna. Like, is this weird thing where I'm like,
well, I thought that was a couple. So like that
Yeah.
one was odd, and I thought even just his in general, like his telling of how his brother
God.
died.
I wanted
I'm like,
to
that
kill
was a little long.
I wanted to kill myself.
It was an accident.
No, it wasn't an accident. It was my fault. It was my greed. It was my arrogance. It was my pride that killed him.
That was amazing. Yes, this whole long monologue about like
Yeah.
it was me, it was my greed, I killed him. This whole thing, and you're like, oh my God.
He used a
please
couple
stop.
words that reminded me almost like a Twilight Zone, like how they would talk, where he said something
Okay.
like, and the devil grabs you like an ice bath, or something, or
Oh
like
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. The water came rushing into the cabin. It was like the devil grabbing you with an icy grip or some weird. Yeah.
The ice water starts rushing in. Like the devil itself grabbing at you with ice claws. And
I was like, I wonder if in like 60 years, when people are watching things in their brain, they'll watch this and go, oh, but back then they had just such great dialogue.
Back then, the devil had an icy grip or something. Yes, I know. Yes.
Yeah.
Wonder Bar.
So split decision, I think, is clear.
Yeah, and
on
like
this one.
you know, I don't hate it. Like I said, it was more of like an existential crisis of like. Because I'm like, oh, it seemed like a waste of time. And then I'm like, well, if this is a waste of time, isn't this other thing a waste of time? What's not a waste of time, right? It got me, because I feel like we can all agree on like a handful of movies, like way up, you know, at the top. But once you start going down from there, it's kind of like, it comes down to, like you're saying, this like visceral preference thing of what kind of does it for you. I like weird, pretentious movies where you're not sure what happened at the end, right? And you like movies with giant CG monsters, and you know what happened at the end.
I'd prefer practical
right?
effect monsters, but the CG are much more.
I'm not saying you like that the most. I'm just saying, for example, I don't like weird, pretentious, like whatever movies the most. I don't like most of them, but I'm interested in them more, and I would like defend them more. Right?
I think
it's like a thing.
What attracts me to these things mostly is that like I like the creatures that don't exist. I like the monsters. I like things.
The cryptozoology thing.
And generally, those don't make it into the mainstream. A little bit now, more than they used to. But you know.
Growing up, I used to love, now they're like retroactively calling them kaiju movies or whatever, but Godzilla and all that other stuff. Right? And I'm not saying it's better to be like a dude in a suit or whatever, but I'm sure if we threw on a random one and watched it next to this, like that's all dubbed and sewn together from like a different movie, just to make it
multiple movies.
Yeah, to make it into like whatever it is that I as a kid was like, this is dope. And my parents were like, hey, we gotta go, little guy. And I'm like, I need to finish this. So like, oh no, we have to bring him to special
he's
school.
Lost in the juju.
Oh no, he's done. Like we can't, we're not gonna be able to save him here, right? So I feel like that's the thing, right? That's fine, yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
What are you guys looking at?
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now expert staff opinions you can really trust.